sports saved my life. And if I didn't have sports, I kind of didn't really know where to go or who to turn to. Alright, y'all, we here. Your favorite color, Jeff Blue here with Dream Basketball.
The risky business of going against the grain. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. On the head, it's radicals, you know what I'm saying?
What was the first sport that you fell in love with?
My first sport I fell in love with, definitely baseball. Baseball is sneakily, people would probably never guess, but it's definitely one of my first loves. From baseball was basketball, and from basketball it led me to football. So growing up in Brooklyn, I was always at the BRC, Brownsville Recreation Center, and we always have programs and things of that nature. And when you're there, it's like, well, community centers everywhere, I think, save a lot of kids' lives. And for me, the BRC did that because from there, from playing basketball, I realized that all the other kids were playing football. And that's when I ran into Mo Better Jaguars. And from there, you know, everybody in Brooklyn played Mo Better, I feel like. So it was BRC basketball, then it was Mo Better, and then I realized that football is something that I really wanted to do. And I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I kind of was, you know, the struggles of growing up in a single parent home and just being able to have an escape, you know, have a place to go where you have your friends and things of that nature. So football for me was my escape.
What was your relationship with the game of basketball growing up?
Basketball for me was a way to kind of tap into the community. Anywhere in New York City, a ball is always bouncing, shots always going up, parks, gyms, wherever. And so for me, it was a chance for me to go everywhere and anywhere. And the beauty of the game of basketball is that it translates everywhere. No matter you're in another country, another city, wherever, everyone knows shoot, pass, cut. You know, like and it becomes a way of like acceptance. If you're nice, people are gonna be like, oh, he's nice, we jack him already. You know, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like everywhere you went. You might not have been, you don't got to be a gangster, you don't got to be a politician, you don't got to make enough money. As long as you could put that ball in the basket or you know how to play the game, you good. So no matter where you are, yeah. Nobody cares as long as you put that ball in the basket. Right, yeah, people going to show you love. So that's the one thing I've always loved about the game of basketball is that no matter where you are, you know, you pick up that ball and you put that ball in the basket, you know, like somebody is talented enough to play the game, then it gives you a different level of appreciation and respect for them. So I went to military school for junior and senior year of high school, and when I was there, they always made all the athletes, especially football players, you need to do something in the winter. You can't just be sitting around, you know, just bullshitting on campus or whatever. So I was like, you know, I'm a trial for the basketball team. Like I know the game of basketball. I'm one of those people who watches sports, and I'm watching, you know, X's and O's. Like people see LeBron get 30, but I'm looking at how is he getting 30. You know, it's not just, you know, like how is Steph Curry being able to get space to create these shots and things of that nature. He's not just shooting shots. So I always knew that I could impact the game when I'm playing. So I went out for the basketball team, and I was doing random things in tryouts, like taking charges and, you know, like locking people up. Like I take pride in that type of stuff.
That's something everybody's not gonna do.
Right. And so my coach, he was just like, yo, those are the things that I need. You know, like those are the things that, which is things that I try to teach kids now, is that you don't have to score 30 every game. You can still impact the game in different ways. Like TJ Porter, the rapper. Shout out TJ, because TJ at Hayes used to take 4 or 5 charges a game and would change the game. Like he didn't get 30 every game, but I used to be like, yo, I respect TJ because he's not the biggest dude in the whole wide world, but he out there putting his body on the line, locking up, and you know how he is. He gonna talk mad shit the whole game too. So, you know, so he was impacting the game in ways that, and that's kind of how I was. So I always liked him from a basketball standpoint for that. But yeah, after high school, I just was like, you know, obviously I'm not about to take this to a whole nother level. Actually, I actually got recruited to play basketball because one coach came to one of my games and saw that I was taking charges and locking people up. He was like, "Listen, all I need you to do is come and defend 94 feet." And I was like, "Nah, I'm not." I was really, trying to chase the football train. For me, I feel like sports and just being on different teams really kind of helped me understand other people as well as myself. So you think about when I played baseball growing up, my teammates weren't the most, like, they weren't the people from the block. Like, I was the only kid on my team from Brownsville. So you figure I had 2 Asian twins on my team, a couple Spanish kids, you know what I'm saying, a couple white kids from Garrison Beach, so when I'm playing baseball, you look at it and you're like, oh snap, like I realize now that these people are experiencing different things in their life. Same thing with football. I played Mo Better Jaguars. These kids are from Brownsville, like me, but some people's situations are totally different. This is all they got. This is their only way out of our circumstances here in Brownsville. Same thing with basketball, so it helps you understand that no matter what people are going through, you still have to pick them up and show love. And sometimes it's an escape for people. And you experience those wins and those losses together. You celebrate them together, so it kind of creates a sense of family, kind of creates a sense of accountability. And so just being on different teams, it helps you understand life from a standpoint of other people's point of view and then also from your own, because now you're watching these things happen. So like when games are over, certain kids are going to eat with their families, and then some kids are like, well, I don't, like, can I go with y'all? Because my mom's not here. I don't have, so those things are very interesting, especially now looking back on it, and you learn as you get older certain things that you might not have known was going on, but now you look back on it, you're like, oh, that was happening. And sometimes you're thankful, like, I'm glad that I was there for that person, or I could have helped that person, or sometimes you beat yourself up. You're like, I wish I did more. I wish I knew. So, it's interesting.
Where did your journey as a trainer start?
My journey as a trainer started, really, unknowingly, it's been going on really my whole life. So I've always been blessed genetically to be in shape. Even when I left college, I kind of went through a dark place and I wasn't really working out or doing anything. And but my cousin would always be like, yo, it's crazy, bro. I don't watch you. You don't work out. You don't do nothing, but your body still look like you in tip top shape. I mean, also I was younger then, but like then I started going back to the gym, and he would be like, yo, can I go with you? Yeah, sure. Then people in my family would be like, yo, how do you do this? Or like, I want to do this. How do I look like this? And I'm like, oh, all you gotta do is just go to the gym and do these things and whatever. And then I'm like, wait a minute, like there's people getting paid to do this. And so I was like, you know what, it's all good. Like, I don't know if I really want to do that. Like, I didn't really look into it. I didn't know how much money people were making from it, things of that nature. I didn't realize that was like a real thing. You look at trainers and you're like, back in the day growing up, it's like you look at trainers and you're like, bro, there's no way you really making money, bro. People ain't, and it's crazy. I'm happy to see it, that the workout culture is growing like exponentially year after year after year, and it's great to see. And so yeah, so I'm happy about that. But for me, it's always just been being able to help people, and that's really where it started. I didn't really know where to really go to really navigate the fitness space. So I was just still taking odd end jobs, but still trying to navigate that fitness space. And then I started working at a kickboxing studio. They opened one in Harlem. I was living in Harlem at the time, so I just was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna jump on this opportunity. It's brand new. Obviously, it's something I've never done before. Like being in a studio with no shoes on and kickboxing is like, like, all right, cool. Like, I guess I can do this.
Something different.
It's definitely something different. And for me, I've always been big on challenging myself, so I embraced that challenge. and I got fired from that job, and then I founded a studio downtown, and it was like what they call boutique fitness, and that opened my eyes to a whole new realm of possibilities because, like we talked about before, growing up in certain neighborhoods, the thought of boutique fitness is not a real thing. You know, like we have Blink, we have, I mean, now they have Blink. We have Planet Fitness. You know, like everybody, Planet Fitness is $10. So we was all going to the gym, and it would just be people in the gym not really knowing what they doing. Everybody just in there. You know, people who did a little time. They in there trying to still get money. You know, things of that nature. And so the idea of a boutique gym, a Barry's Boot Camp, a Soul Cycle, you know, like all these gyms, it's like, what's that? Because all I know is I'm going to the park to hit the bars, or I'm going to Blink to really, or Planet Fitness to get money, and that's it. I don't know about classes. What are these classes? What are you saying to me right now? And so once I entered that space, I realized a lot. It was a huge kind of culture shift for me because the demographic is different. And it's just kind of you kind of sit and you wonder, like, can I navigate this space? And for me, I've been blessed enough where my mom kind of always told me, like, wherever you go, you walk into the room as yourself. And as long as you're sure of who you are, everybody else has to accept you. And if they don't, then there's something that's wrong with them and there's nothing wrong with you. And so even still to this day, I walk into rooms with my chin up, my chest out, and you're gonna see that this is me, you know. And either you're gonna love me or hate me, but that's not something that I have to internalize. That's something that you have to internalize. I'm true to who I am, then you have to accept that. And so, so for me, it's been a journey, and it was a journey, and just trying to navigate that space of boutique fitness, and now, you know, just building up clients and building relationships and learning what that space looks like, feels like, sounds like. I even struggle with playing music that I liked. They would tell me that I couldn't play hip hop. We need you to have mixes of songs. Mixes of songs for what? Like, because I'm going to the club and I see those same people who are in this class listening to the same songs that I listen to at home. So why can't I play that one? For me, fitness is sharing a piece of you with other people. And with different cultures, races, whatever. And if I can't share that in a way that feels most comfortable to me, then I'm doing you a disservice, you know? And so I don't know, like it's been a journey from a lot of different realms and vantage points. So, but like I said, it's a journey that I don't take back. Like I appreciate every second of it. I learned some, I lost some, I made mistakes, I did shit that I know and I shouldn't have done. I've said things, I've did things, but I know that the person that's sitting here in this chair today, I'm thankful for it all.
Who are some of the people that actually stepped up and gave you an opportunity that you would say either helped you along the way to get to where you are today, or, you know, just gave you a shot, gave you a chance?
First, Coach Rose. Coach Rose from Millbank. When I was working at Millbank and I was transitioning into fitness, I was working at a school, I was working at the gym, and I was working at Millbank. Coach Rose used to always tell me, there's 24 hours in a day. If you feel like there's hours in the day where you're not doing anything, then find something to do with your time. And from there, he used to always tell me that. And it was weird because I feel like he would always do it to me. You know, like there were people that we worked with at Millbank that were all under Coach Rose, and people like that he's known for a long time, but he always took a liking to me, and even still to this day, I appreciate him so much because he gave me his energy. And he didn't have to do that. I was a random kid from Brooklyn who just happened to be working at Millbank, but he always would speak positivity into my life and kind of motivate me and teach me things. And for me, that always was super impactful. And when I was at the gym and I was trying to figure it out, he would be like, yo, when you leave the gym, come here to Millbank. I'll let you run the gym at night. And so whenever there's practice or whatever, all I need you to do is make sure they have basketballs, clean the gym, blah, blah, blah. And so I've always been appreciative of him for that. My boy Jeff, shout out my guy Jeff Chen. He started a fitness collective that they were doing just space classes at Lululemon. They have a space at Lululemon in Soho upstairs, and he was just bringing people together as a collective to work out. People, influencers, people who of all different walks of life, colors, whatever. And that kind of helped me understand my power of just the way that I impact people's lives from my own vantage point. It wasn't anything that was just like, you're working for this company or whatever. It was, I'm teaching the classes, Jeff, you can come take the class, and people were showing up. We did maybe 6 classes, they all sold out. And so I don't think he really understands how impactful that was for me to be in this space that I am now, doing things on my own and not working for a studio. But that in itself kind of helped me really, it kind of lifted me up. Like, he kind of put me on his shoulders, and he probably didn't know what he was doing at the time, but I look back on it now and I tell him all the time when I see him or I speak to him, I'm like, yo man, I just want you to know I really appreciate you, because him and a young lady, Kersey, it was their thing together. And I'm just like, yo, you guys really gave me a platform to help me understand my power. And if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have understood how impactful I was in this space, in the fitness community, because the place where I was working before, I don't think they really understood what I was doing and what I was trying to accomplish. So,
what is your identity within the fitness community, and at what point did you come up with the brand, your favorite color, and what does that represent?
For me, in the fitness community, fitness is not about quantifying metrics or a number on a scale or abs or whatever the case may be. I want people to when they work out with me or, spend time around me or whatever, to leave feeling better about themselves. Whatever space you're in, no matter what you look like, feel like, sound like, whatever, I want you to walk out of a workout or even just a conversation with me feeling uplifted, feeling better about life, and just feeling better about who you are as a person. And just knowing that every day you wake up, you have a purpose on this earth, and the person that you see in the mirror when you wake up in the morning is a person that is just you. So you gotta love that person no matter what. So that's like the message I try to instill with people. My mantra is on purpose with purpose. God created all of us unique. He created all of us special. So we all have a purpose here on this earth.
Where did you get that from, and what does the meaning behind that?
So my mom used to go to a church in Brooklyn, Pastor A.R. Bernard, and he used to talk about purpose a lot. And growing up, my mom always instilled a lot of mantras in me. And stuff that I remember to this day. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, things of that nature. And so for me, when I heard the message about purpose, I just was like, I believe that. I received this. It just manifested inside of me. And knowing that, no matter what circumstances you're going through, no matter what's happening in your life, you still are on this earth for a reason. And I just feel like we all, no matter where you are, or who you are, or what you're doing right now in this moment, you can make impact. Whether that means in your community, whether that means in your family, whether that means just impacting your own life, you have a purpose.
So what would you say the purpose of your favorite color is? What's your purpose?
Your favorite color is, so just to answer your initial question, your favorite color is funny. My sister, when maybe 8 years ago, we were hanging out or whatever, and and this when Twitter first was getting big. And so one day I was like, yo, what's your Twitter name? And she was like, I am your fave color. And I'm like, that's whack, and it's too long. I'm like, you gotta change that. At that time, I was going by Brooklyn Blue 91 on everything. And I was like, yo, you gotta change that. I'm stealing that. Your favorite color sounds much cooler. And so, background story, obviously my last name is Blue. literally Blue. People ask me all the time, is that like a stage name or whatever. But my last name is Blue, Blue. And so I was like, I'm taking that. I'm gonna use it. Like, we don't have the same friends anyway. It's all good. I'm just gonna run with it. And so I changed my name to Your Favorite Color. And then as I started to do more things in like the fitness space and just like in sports and things of that nature, it kind of just stuck. People already were calling me Blue. And so it was just kind of like Your Favorite Color. Like, you don't know too many people who you call by a color name. But it's me. So it's like Your Favorite Color. And then people started calling me it. Like, people would see me like, Your Favorite Color, Your Favorite Color, Your Favorite Color. And then one day, one of my clients was like, yo, you should make shirts. Like, we support what you're doing. Like, you should make shirts. I think it's cool. And I was like, man, like, will people even care? Will people even like buy that? And so I like started messing around with logos and things of that nature. And I was like, yo, this is actually pretty cool. And then I started to do more with it. And then when I started doing the classes with Jeff, the company is called Guest Pass. When I started doing the Guest Pass classes, I started to realize that the things that I was saying and the energy that I was putting out into the world, people were actually listening and receiving my messages. I was doing a daily motivational message on Instagram. I was in class and I was motivating, but for me, motivation is not just trying to get you to do that next rep. I want you to do that next rep, but then also kind of take those same motivations and let that carry you to take the next step in what you're trying to do in life, in work, in love, in relationships. So whatever the case may be, like, use that to kind of push yourself forward. So now that I'm in this space where I work for myself and I'm running my own workouts and things of that nature, I want the Your Favorite Color brand to be just all about love and positivity and good vibes and uplifting, you know, people of all different walks of life, races, colors, creeds. So I want the Your Favorite Color brand to represent more than just Blue as my last name. I want it to represent, you know, everything.
What's your dream as far as your brand is concerned?
My dream as far as my brand is concerned is to continue to build on communities of all over the world, all over the US, all over the world, where we can help people, whether that means children to adults, whether that means from the hood to the hills. I want to be able to make sure that the name and what it stands for and what I stand for and the people who in the future might work for me or be a part of it, anybody that I partner with, that it stands for something that we all kind of have the same vision, the same goal, the same purpose. You know, that we're all trying to accomplish something positive and kind of change the world. You know, I really believe that, like, you can do more with like linked together. So if we link up together, we can spread the message. And the world needs change right now. We're obviously in a weird space in this world, from social injustice to the pandemic to so many different things. But if it starts with me and I have to be the person that kickstart it, then so be it. But I know that there's more people who have the same vision and want change in the world and want to empower people to be better. So if I can be at the forefront of that and help, you know, then why not? You know, and that's really what it comes down to. I want to start doing like community events, even like, you know, I obviously have a love for the community. I have a love for the game of basketball tournaments, things of that nature. But using my reach to make sure that I'm helping people and not just reaching to just touch them, reaching back to pull people up. You know, if we're at the top of the mountain, you know, it's our duty to reach back and pull other people up as well. So you can't be at the top of the mountain by yourself. It's boring. You know, it makes no sense to be up there by yourself. So
what is making it look like for you?
The top of the mountain is me having like annual things and knowing that people are being affected by what the things that I'm doing. Excuse me. Whether that means toy drives, whether that means food banks, whether that means after schools, whether that means having tutors, opening doors for people who might not be able to get into certain spaces and having them, you know, in those spaces. So the top of the mountaintop for me is just creating those avenues and streams for people to better themselves. It's not quantified by a dollar amount or anything like that. I just want to make sure that I'm helping people, and as long as I'm in a space where I can reach and help as many people as I can, that's when I know that I'm at the top of the mountain. So,
if you made it tomorrow, what would be the first, whether it be the first organization, or what would be the first thing you do to help? What would be the first thing that you do if you made it tomorrow? If you made it to the top of the mountain tomorrow, say you woke up tomorrow and you're at the top of the mountain, what would be the first thing you do?
The first thing I would do, that's a tough one.
What would be the first change you try to impact? What would be the first thing, what would be the first kind of change you try to bring about if you made it tomorrow? What would be the first thing you change?
First thing I would change would be, wow, that's a tough one. I have so many things that I want to accomplish. Honestly, just for me personally, not even just for me personally, just straightforward with the answer, I would try to help kids that look like me understand that they can make it out. Like, success is not quantified by the number of Instagram followers or how much money you make or whatever the case may be. My first thing would be to give them more outlets to see and understand what success looks like. So whether that means connecting them with people who I know or putting them in positions as far as like scholarships and things of that nature. I guess there's not necessarily one specific thing that because change takes time. It's not gonna be just one thing that I do that's gonna really that will change tomorrow. But I know that I can start to impact change for people. So like I said, with the toy drives and tutors and study help and things of that nature, I think that can start changing the culture and the vantage point. Because really, it's just opening your eyes to see that these things are possible.
Outside of fitness itself, what is it that you're doing to help the community, and what kind of impact are you trying to have within the community?
So for me, I think that impact for me is just showing up, and just being there. We talked about it earlier, just time. Time is a real currency. So spending time and energy and effort with someone, whether that means a kid, an adult, whoever, that's a real exchange of energy and currency. It's not obviously a hand-to-hand, monetary value exchange, but at the same time, me sitting in a room with someone and having a conversation with them, that's me sharing my energy, my knowledge. That's time that I can't get back in life. That's time that I could be doing something else, but I'm spending this time with them. So I just feel like, I don't know, man. It's tough to just put like a pin down on it. But I don't know.
What would you say, with everything going on right now in New York City, with the high crime rate and everything, and being someone that grew up in the inner city and saw for yourself, sometimes the circumstance and maybe even situations that we might face in our personal lives might prevent us from being able to even believe ourselves that we can do certain things. What would you say to some of these kids now that are faced with not just COVID-19, but with everything that's going on within the city right now? What kind of advice would you give to those kids that are still trying to stay positive, trying to pursue their dreams, and trying to stay on track?
That your circumstances don't define you. You can't let people box you in, because what other people feel about you is none of your business. You have to continue to be who you are and be unapologetic about that. If people judge you off where you're from or how you sound or how you look, then nobody would have ever advanced in life. You have to look at that there are possibilities that are endless, and you can't just be bogged down with one thing and say, oh, because this didn't happen, this won't happen for me. Because one door closes doesn't mean that another one isn't opening. So you have to just keep keep grinding forward, you know, and life is gonna sometimes knock you down, but it's really about how you stand up and keep fighting that really shows you who you are and where you're going. And it's easy to quit. Quitting is the easy thing to do, you know, but you really find out if you really want to be great, if you really want to be successful, like how much are you willing to get back up and keep pushing forward towards your goal, and know that, you know, you're not just, it's bigger than you sometimes, you know, like if you have siblings, they're watching you. If you have people in your family, sometimes they're counting on you. And sometimes you have to understand that sometimes the things that you're doing is not just for you. You're working for not just your first name, but sometimes your last. All right, so, you know, it's tough, and it's gonna be tough, but, you know, like, you take each day at a time, one day at a time, and just keep pressing forward. You're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, but, you know, life is about, it's about highs and it's about lows, and how can you just try to stay right there in the middle?
Who's one person that always, you know, helped you get over the extra, that gave you that extra push that you needed?
There's a lot of people, but more so my family. And each family member for different reasons. So, like, for example, my grandma. My mom's mother is, to me, a real life angel. Like, never heard her curse. I've never even seen her wear pants. That's how religious she is. And so, growing up, she was always I would call her my angel here on earth, because she can give you Bible verses verbatim, things of that nature. So, like, and she was such a loving person, and I think that I get that helping everyone gene from her. She owned the daycare. Every kid on my block grew up in the daycare in my grandma's house, and so I think I get that loving aspect from her. My mom is a hustler, so if I'm going through things and I need a little bit more hustle, that's the person I'll call. And she'll, you know, sometimes she's very much in like you gotta get this done, and sometimes I need that push. My older sister, she's very much like the voice of reason. That's my A1. That's like my best friend in the whole wide world, and she never steers me wrong, but she'll also give me exactly what I need from a standpoint of, she's older than me, but we're close enough in age where she talks to me from a standpoint that I get it, you know, and so I don't make mistakes as well. And then my little brother, he motivates me because I know that he's watching, and I want to make sure that I blaze a trail that he can follow and that he can exceed my marks as well. My dad, he's real New York, so for him, it's very much like, man, you gotta get it going. Like, he's one of those, you know, like the guy that talks to you, that the old head that talk to you and give you game. That's definitely my dad. So yeah, like, really for me, it's just family. I'm very family oriented, and that's why even for me, like, your favorite color brand, I don't look at it like there's people that support me. Anybody that I encounter, anybody I do work with or whatever, we're family now. You know, and I think that sometimes that's what we need to start embracing more people, and not looking at it like, because you don't look like me, or because we haven't grown up together, or because I met you 2 days ago, that doesn't mean that we can't connect and build and kind of help people as a community.
With the pandemic and everything that's going on right now, a lot of the kids don't have access to gyms and trainers and everything. You know, what kind of advice would you give them as far as tips or anything they could do to stay on point, and stay on top of their game?
First and foremost, stop making excuses. Everybody's dealing with COVID-19. It's not just you going through it, but you know that you have a goal in mind. Then let that motivate you every day. So that means you're doing 100 push-ups every morning. For me personally, I challenge myself to do 100 push-ups every day. That is, for me mentally, if I don't get that done, I know I didn't do enough that day. So you have to start to think about what it is that I want to do to be great. Is this really something that I'm trying to accomplish? And then from there, ask. You have friends, you have parents, whatever. If you live in New York City, if you live in a place that is warm outside, like, go outside and run. Obviously in New York it's a little bit different because it's cold now. Do things in your house. Ask your parents if you can go outside, or if they can help you invest in a jump rope, or your mom, I know it's going to be a little bit noisy, but can I get a jump rope? Can I order some weights or things of that nature? Or go on YouTube. You guys, people are on the internet all day long. Use your outlets to help you. There are people who are giving you outlets to do the things that you want to accomplish. Google is your friend. YouTube is your friend. You're already online all day long. So utilize it. Think about where is it trying to go, and ask questions, envision that, and utilize the tools that you have in front of you to just keep pressing forward. And yeah, just don't doubt yourself. You know, and stop making excuses for yourself, because excuses are the building blocks of nothing. So you can't build anything off excuses. So that's pretty much it for me.
What would you say separates Millbank as a gym and also the people that works there from everywhere else that you work and you sports?
The people at Millbank, especially the work that we're putting in right now, Coach Rose for one is Coach Rose for me is family first and foremost, and he kind of helped me understand that, bringing people together. And he could be doing so many different other things, but he's committed to being there, and he's a wealth of knowledge, and it is proven. You know, he's won New York versus New York. He's won City is Mine 3 times. Freshman basketball team at St. Ray's always is a contender. You can never count them out. I don't even know how many times he's been to the championship. So it's just, he's always a wealth of knowledge. And he has the heart, biggest heart. So that's for Coach Rose. And as far as Mel goes, shout out my man Mel, Island Work. That kid works. He works, and honestly, it's inspiring to see, because thinking back on if I had the opportunity that I would have had at his age, and how hard he works. Being at his age, I was still worried about trying to be cool and trying to figure out what the space is like. And Mel just works. He just wants to help, and he just wants to work. And for me, just being around those two guys is super inspiring and super powerful. And for them, they really just want to help the community and help push these kids forward to be better. And so I'm honestly honored to be able to work with them.
Yeah. Everybody in here. Kelly, what up? Yeah, grinding it out, baby. Quinn, I see you, Quindolin. Yeah, shout out to all of y'all.
Over the pandemic, with everything with 2020, so that you took advantage of the Zoom and went virtual with workouts. What is Flex Friday, and where does that come from?
So when I was working at the kickboxing gym, we always did a thing called Flex Friday. So people took class on Friday, everybody came, and you take pictures, and when the class is over, you take a picture flexing your muscles. And I always like enjoyed that. Like, I always liked that people feel good about the work you putting in, and then when it's over, you get to document it. Like, people are in there flexing, and when I say flexing, right, most people think like, oh, I gotta flex my muscles. Like, nah, not necessarily. If you want to flex, like, flex your smile, flex your energy, throw your hands in the air, take your shirt off, swing it around your head like a helicopter. Like, flexing is not necessarily about just feeling big or strong. Like I told you before, it's all about feeling good about who you are as a person. Sometimes you can walk into a room and you can flex your energy by being who you are. And so Flex Friday for me is more so, is bigger than just like, oh, flex your muscles. It's more so like, flex. You put work in. You should feel good about that. Flex it a little bit. Pat yourself on the back. You know what I'm saying? Walk out with your chin held high. Flex on that a little bit. So that's kind of where the whole Flex Friday thing came from. So I'm super thankful for everybody who supported during the Zoom time and my virtual time, and even when I was doing outdoor classes in the summer through the pandemic. So anybody that's ever taken my class, whether before the pandemic and through now, and supported me and supported the family of Your Favorite Color, I just want to say thank you to them. So because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have the outlet to be able to share my message and get my purpose across. So I just want to say thank you. All right, y'all, we here. Your Favorite Color, Jeff Blue here with Dream Basketball. Just wrapped it up. I just want to let y'all know, check me out on the gram, Your Favorite Color. Check the website, yourfavoritecolor.com. Feel free to come take some classes. The classes are free. They're on Zoom. I just want to thank all of you guys for the support and the love. And yeah, remember, live life on purpose, with purpose. There's nobody in this world like you. They may try to imitate, but they can't duplicate you. All right? So just love that person you see in the mirror. Be blessed. Be positive. Keep good vibes. All right? Remember, live life on purpose, with purpose. I'm out. Dream basketball.